The halls of Jefferson High were always noisy between classes, banging lockers, laughter, shouts across corridors. But on that rainy Tuesday morning, everything was too loud in her head. Emily Dawson clutched her books tight to her chest, eyes low, just trying to blend into the walls like usual. She was the kind of girl people didn't notice, quiet, short, always in oversized hoodies, never looking anyone in the eye. But today, the predators noticed. And they weren't going to let her pass in peace. 3 of the school's top football players, Troy, Brad, and Marcus, stood near the lockers like they owned the hallway. They did act like they owned it. With scholarships already promised and the upcoming state championship game, the school practically worshipped them. And they knew it. Troy grinned when he saw Emily walk past. "Hey, hoodie girl," he sneered, blocking her path with his arm. "Where you off to? A wizard convention?" Brad and Marcus snorted with laughter, surrounding her. Emily froze, heart hammering in her chest. "Say something," Brad said, his voice low, daring. "Come on. Talk." When she didn't, Marcus shoved her gently against the lockers, just enough to make her drop her books. Emily's hands shook as she reached down to grab them, but Troy stepped on her folder. Her sketches, her only escape, scattered across the floor, pages crumpling beneath their cleats. "Oops," Marcus smirked. "Our bad." That was the moment something inside her snapped. She had spent years keeping her head down, avoiding attention, praying the school year would fly by. But no more. Not today. Not when they destroyed the one thing that brought her peace. Emily slowly stood up. Her hoodie slid back, revealing her sharp blue eyes, no longer filled with fear, but fire. "You want a reaction," she said, voice steady. "Fine." Troy chuckled. "Oh, look who found her tongue." Before he could finish, Emily launched forward. A blur. A crack. A perfect knee strike straight into his groin. He collapsed instantly, gasping like a fish on dry land. Brad lunged, but she sidestepped and drove her palm into his chest, slamming him into the lockers. Years of Krav Maga training, thanks to her Uncle Mike, had just found its moment. Marcus tried to grab her arm from behind, but she twisted out, hooked his leg, and flipped him hard. He groaned as he hit the ground, his breath knocked out of him. The hallway was silent. Everyone stood frozen, phones out, mouths open. The football gods had just been destroyed by the quiet girl in the hoodie. A teacher finally arrived and rushed to the scene. The boys were still writhing. Emily stood still, breathing hard, heart pounding, not from fear, but from release. Detention? Suspension? Maybe. She didn't care anymore. That moment wasn't about punishment. It was about freedom. The next day, she didn't hide. The whole school had seen the video. Overnight, it had exploded on social media, tiny girl versus football bullies, she destroys them. The comments poured in. She's a legend. Those jerks had it coming. Protect Emily Dawson at all costs. Even students who had ignored her now gave her respectful nods. Some whispered queen as she passed. But the real surprise came later that week when the principal called her in. "Emily," he said, carefully, "we reviewed the footage. It's clear they instigated the attack. You're not in trouble." She blinked. For the first time in years, someone believed her. No lectures, no gaslighting, just truth. The principal added, "I also spoke with the school board. We're launching an anti-bullying initiative. And, we'd like you to lead it." Emily's throat tightened. She wasn't a speaker. She wasn't bold. She wasn't that girl. But maybe now, she could become her. Weeks passed. The football season ended without Troy, Brad, and Marcus. Their injuries benched them. Their scholarships were at risk. As for Emily, she stepped into her power. She led workshops. Shared her story. Helped other students speak up. The same girl who was once shoved into lockers now walked the halls like a storm in stillness, calm, but unstoppable. Her life wasn't perfect. Not every bully disappeared. Not every day was easy. But she had taken her power back. And the message she left behind echoed far beyond Jefferson High. They tried to break me. Instead, they built a fighter. Inspiration message. To every quiet girl who's been stepped on, laughed at, or made to feel invisible, know this: your silence does not mean weakness. And the day you decide to rise? The world will feel it. Because strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it walks down the hall in a hoodie, and leaves legends in its wake.